Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever sat by the window on a quiet morning, coffee in hand, watching the sunlight stretch across the floor, and wondered, how many mornings like this do I have left? It's not a sad thought. It's an honest one. Because when you cross into your 70s, every year feels just a little more precious. The laughter of your grandkids, the rhythm of your morning walks, the quiet pride you feel when you do something on your own. These aren't small things anymore. They're everything. But what if I told you that your body is already whispering to you about your future? Not in grand, dramatic ways, but in subtle signals. How steady you walk, how strong your hands feel, how clearly you sleep at night. These tiny details, often overlooked, can quietly predict not just how long you'll live, but how well. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 signs that reveal your true vitality after 70, and what you can do, starting today, to add not just years to your life, but life to your years. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about paying attention to what your body is telling you, and using that wisdom to make the next chapter the most empowered one yet. So, if you're ready to tune in, reflect deeply, and maybe even surprise yourself, let's begin. Do you remember the first time you taught a grandchild to ride a bike? That delicate moment when they wobbled, teetered, then found that magical center, and suddenly, they were flying. It wasn't about strength. It was about balance. Now, fast forward. You're not learning to ride anymore. But every time you stand, every time you turn, step off a curb, or slip into your shoes, you're still balancing. Only now, balance has become a quiet test of your body's strength, coordination, and even your brain sharpness. According to studies, your ability to stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds is one of the most reliable predictors of longevity in older adults. Why? Because maintaining balance isn't just about your legs. It's a complex dance between your nervous system, muscle strength, inner ear, and focus. When one piece weakens, the whole rhythm stumbles. Take Bill, 74, who noticed he had to grab the wall more often when getting dressed. He brushed it off at first, but after a minor fall in his garden, he started taking it seriously. He began practicing simple moves, like standing on one leg while brushing his teeth, or doing gentle Tai Chi in the mornings. A few months later, not only was he steadier, but he felt more confident walking through the grocery store, playing with his great-granddaughter, even getting out of bed in the dark. The lesson: when your balance starts to shift, don't just write it off as getting older. See it as a signal. Your body is asking you to reconnect, to strengthen, to move with more intention. So let's test something together. Stand up, find a stable surface nearby, and try lifting one foot off the ground. Can you hold it for 10 seconds without wobbling? If not, that's not a failure, it's a beginning. And speaking of beginnings, in the next part, we'll go even deeper into your hands, because the strength of your grip might just reveal more about your health than any number on a medical chart. Let's continue. Take a moment and look at your hands. The same hands that once held a newborn, fixed a broken faucet, wrote letters, flipped pancakes, planted tomatoes, or squeezed someone's hand when words weren't enough. They've lived. They've carried stories. But they also carry a surprising truth. Your grip strength is one of the clearest windows into your overall health. Doctors call it a biomarker of aging. Why? Because your grip isn't just about your fingers. It's the sum of your muscle strength, circulation, nerve function, and even cardiovascular health. A weakening grip could be your body's early signal of muscle loss, lowered endurance, and even future health risks like frailty or falls. Let me tell you about Harold. He's 79, loves fishing, and used to pride himself on a firm handshake. But over the past year, he noticed it was harder to open jars or carry groceries. He thought it was just old age, until he read an article that said reduced grip strength could signal deeper health issues. So he started small, squeezing a tennis ball while watching TV, doing light resistance exercises with hand grippers, and carrying light hand weights on his walks. Within weeks, he felt stronger. Within months, he didn't just feel different, he moved differently. The lesson: when your hands start to lose strength, it's not about stubborn lids or dropped mugs. It's your body whispering that it needs you to fight back. And the best part? You absolutely can. Want a simple test? Next time you shake someone's hand, notice how it feels. Or try opening that pickle jar without struggling. If you feel weakness, don't ignore it. That's your invitation to rebuild, not just your grip, but your independence. And speaking of movement, next, we'll explore something even simpler, yet more powerful, your walking speed. Because how fast you move through the world might just predict how long you'll keep moving in it. Let's keep going. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to glide through their day? Smooth, steady, light on their feet, even in their 70s or 80s. That's not luck. That's a sign. Your walking speed is one of the most powerful, overlooked indicators of how well and how long you'll live. Doctors even call it the sixth vital sign. Why? Because how fast you walk tells a deeper story about your heart, lungs, nervous system, muscles, and even your brain. Let me tell you about two neighbors, Jim and Arthur. Both are 75. Both retired the same year. Jim still walks every morning, just a few blocks, rain or shine. His stride is brisk, his posture upright. When he crosses the street, he doesn't hesitate. Arthur, on the other hand, moves more cautiously. He takes smaller steps, pauses often, and sometimes struggles with stairs. Jim's pace isn't just faster. It's a sign that his circulatory system is strong, his muscles are coordinated, and his confidence is intact. Arthur's slower pace? It could be his body quietly telling him something's slipping. Strength, balance, maybe even cognitive sharpness. Now here's the test. Walk 10 feet at your normal pace. If it takes you more than 6 to 7 seconds, research suggests it might be time to check in with your doctor or start strengthening those legs. Because slower walking, especially after age 70, has been linked to higher risk of heart disease, falls, and even early mortality. But here's the hope. You can improve your walking speed. Simple steps like daily strolls, gentle leg strengthening exercises, or even dancing in the kitchen can keep your legs and your life moving forward. The takeaway: speed isn't about rushing, it's about resilience. When you move with purpose, even slowly, you're telling your body, I'm still in this. I'm still living. And that leads us into something just as crucial for your quality of life. Rest, recovery, sleep. Because even the strongest body needs the right kind of restoration to keep going. Let's explore why how you sleep tonight could shape how you live tomorrow. Let's be honest, sleep changes after 70. You might find yourself waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, or tossing and turning even after a calm evening. But here's the truth. How you sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's your body's nightly report card, a direct reflection of how well you're healing, recovering, and protecting your future. Take Clara, 76. She used to brush off her restless nights with a simple, "That's just part of getting older." But over time, she started forgetting appointments, feeling groggy in the afternoon, and noticing her energy dipping even after quiet mornings. Her doctor explained something that changed everything. During deep sleep, your brain literally washes away toxins, clearing out what may otherwise lead to memory issues or brain fog. Your body uses this time to repair cells, strengthen the immune system, and even manage blood pressure. When sleep is shallow or interrupted, that process doesn't complete. So, if you're waking up tired, it's not just frustrating, it's a sign your body's not fully recovering. And it's not just about quantity, it's quality that matters. The good news? You don't need sleep pills or a fancy mattress to improve it. Try simple shifts. A set bedtime, even on weekends. Morning sunlight for 10 to 15 minutes to reset your body clock. No screens an hour before bed. Maybe swap for a good book or some calming music. And don't overlook sleep apnea, a condition that's surprisingly common in older adults and can go unnoticed for years. Here's the lesson. If your body feels like it's dragging during the day, it's asking for more than caffeine. It's asking for real, restorative rest. Because tomorrow's energy, focus, and longevity all begin with tonight's sleep. And speaking of nourishment, there's something else quietly shaping how long and how well you live. Your appetite. Let's talk about how the way you eat today might just predict the strength of your body tomorrow. There was a time when breakfast felt like a comforting ritual. A slice of toast, a cup of coffee, maybe even a few berries on the side. But lately, Maybe you've noticed, food just doesn't call to you the way it used to. That's exactly what happened to James, 79. His daughter noticed first. He was skipping meals, leaving half his plate untouched. Not because he wasn't trying, but because his appetite had quietly faded. And at first he thought, that's just age. But it wasn't just that. Here's what most people don't realize. Appetite is more than hunger. It's a subtle signal from the body about how well it's functioning. A steady appetite means your digestive system is active, your muscles are being maintained, and your energy reserves are stable. A fading appetite, on the other hand, can hint at hidden inflammation, depression, early cognitive decline, or even loss of muscle mass. For James, his doctor discovered low protein intake and early signs of malnutrition, something that could have silently led to weakness, falls, and slower healing. The lesson: losing interest in food isn't just about taste, it's about health. And the fix doesn't have to be complicated. Try adding colorful, easy-to-digest meals rich in protein and healthy fats. Small, frequent snacks if large meals feel overwhelming. Eating with others, even once a week, can reignite joy in eating. So next time you push a plate away or skip a meal without thinking, pause. Ask your body, what are you really telling me? Because your appetite is your body's quiet way of asking for fuel, for strength, and for the chance to keep thriving. And while food nourishes your body, there's one more thing that sustains your spirit, and it's even more powerful than a meal: your connection to others. Let's talk about why your social circle might just be the most important part of your health journey. It was a quiet Tuesday morning when Harold, 76, sat alone in his sunroom. He wasn't doing anything in particular, just listening to the ticking clock. But inside, his mind was racing. Worries about money, about his health, about whether he was doing enough with the time he had left. He didn't talk much about it, not even with his children. But every little stress built up like steam in a kettle, ready to whistle. And it showed. In his blood pressure, in his restless nights, in his mood. Here's the thing. Stress in your 70s isn't the same as when you were younger. Your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Cortisol, the stress hormone, stays in your system longer. And that constant pressure, it can wear down your immune system, speed up memory decline, and even increase the risk of heart disease. But here's the beautiful truth. Mental strength at this age isn't about powering through. It's about calming down. And that calm, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. People like Harold don't need to do more. They need to pause more, to take walks, breathe deeply, laugh often, to let go of things they can't control, and choose peace over pressure. One small habit that changed everything for Harold: he started his mornings with just 5 minutes of deep breathing by the window. No phone, no noise, just the sunrise and his breath. And day by day, that stillness made him stronger. Because in the later chapters of life, peace is power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that carries you quietly through storms. And speaking of storms, there's one that we all face at some point: loneliness. But what if I told you that your friendships, even the smallest ones, could be the lifeline that keeps you going? Let's explore why connection isn't just comforting, it's life-saving. Eleanor used to joke that she was too independent for visitors. At 78, she had her routine: morning tea, crossword by the window, a little gardening, maybe a walk around the block. But after her husband passed, and the calls from friends became less frequent, something shifted. Not outside, everything still looked the same, but inside, she felt the walls closing in. You see, loneliness doesn't always look like tears. Sometimes it shows up as forgetting meals, skipping walks, or losing interest in the things that once brought you joy. What researchers now know is that loneliness is more than a feeling. It's a health risk. Studies from Harvard and Oxford show that social isolation in older adults increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and even early death. But here's the hope. Even small moments of connection can be powerful medicine. A weekly phone call with an old friend, joining a walking group or a book club, inviting the neighbor over for coffee. Eleanor took a chance one afternoon. She called a friend she hadn't spoken to in years. They talked for over an hour, laughed, cried, and then made plans for lunch. That one call became the beginning of a new season of connection. Because the truth is, people don't just make life better, they make life longer. So ask yourself, who could you reach out to today? Who lights up your heart just by picking up the phone? Because in the next chapter, we'll talk about one more thing that can brighten your life, even without a single word. It's in your spine, your stance, your smile. Let's talk about how posture and expression can become your most natural facelift from the inside out. It started small for Bill, just a little trouble hearing the television unless it was turned way up. Then he found himself asking people to repeat things more often. He brushed it off as background noise or just getting older. But over time, something changed, not just in his hearing, but in his world. He stopped joining conversations at dinner because it was too frustrating. He avoided going out in the evening because reading street signs became harder. Slowly, without realizing it, his world began to shrink. Here's the truth many people overlook. Hearing and vision loss don't just affect your senses, they affect your entire life. According to the National Institutes of Health, uncorrected hearing loss is linked to increased risks of depression, cognitive decline, and even falls. Vision problems can make daily activities more dangerous, reduce confidence, and increase isolation. But the good news? These are also among the most treatable problems in aging. Getting a simple hearing test, updating your glasses, adding brighter lighting in your home, or choosing larger print books. These small steps can bring the world back into focus, both literally and emotionally. Bill finally got hearing aids, and he'll tell you they changed everything. He laughs again at the dinner table. He sings with his grandkids. He walks with confidence. So here's the lesson. Don't ignore the subtle signs. When you listen better and see clearly, you connect better, move safer, and live fuller. Because in our final chapter, we'll bring it all together. Not just how to add years to life, but how to add life to your years. Let's talk about what it really means to age with purpose and to live these next years on your own terms. As we grow older, we often search for answers in the mirror. We look for signs of youth, signs of decline. But the real story? It's written in how we move, how we rest, how we connect, and how we listen to ourselves and to each other. Over these past few chapters, we've uncovered 8 quiet signals: your balance, grip, walking pace, sleep, appetite, stress levels, social ties, and sensory awareness. They may seem small, but together, they paint a vivid picture of your future. And here's the most powerful truth. You still hold the brush. You are not just aging, you are becoming. Each choice you make today, each walk you take, each hand you hold, each moment you pause to breathe, it all shapes how deeply and how joyfully you will live in the years ahead. My personal belief is simple. Aging isn't a slow fade. It's a chance to light up from the inside out, to become more connected, more centered, and more fully alive than ever before. That's not a myth. That's science and spirit working together. So, if this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What sign spoke to you the most? What changes will you begin making today? Drop a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more heartfelt, evidence-based guidance. Because you deserve to live the rest of your life with clarity, courage, and joy. And I'll be right here, cheering you on every step of the way. Let's walk this journey together.